Welcome to the figureFIT podcast, where we discuss fitness, paleo nutrition, yoga, meditation, spirituality, and other ways to have a happy, peaceful, and abundant life. And here's your host, Liz Nierzwicki.
Hi, everybody. I have something that I want to share with you. My mom has no idea what this topic is about, but I think everybody listening can very much benefit from what I have to say today. So this weekend, it was a Saturday, and I found myself working starting at 7:30 in the morning all the way until 8 p.m. And the whole day I was super duper happy. I had a good mood all day. The whole time I didn't feel like I was doing any sort of work. And then when I actually ended up getting home, I ended up doing more work just because I was like so pumped up, so ready to go. And I think that's because I don't think I know that's because what I do with what I do, it doesn't seem like work to me. I just love doing it so much. And that's because here's the takeaway for today's podcast. That is because I'm not looking at it as work. I'm looking at the end goal in mind. And so one thing that I've heard recently is don't live to work, work to live. And so I'm working with my end goals in mind. And I think one thing that has helped me recently is creating a vision board. I actually haven't even created the thing yet. I just have I have the pictures printed out, and I'm still waiting to glue it out. But it's like, what am I actually working for? And so when I do that, when I do approach work, I can work, 15 hours in a day, and it doesn't seem like work the whole time because I'm actually so happy doing what I do that it doesn't seem like work, right? I'm working for something bigger than just money. Because I want to make $1 million this year. Okay, why? Right? Do you want to be Scrooge McDuck and just sit on a big pile of money? I mean, that would probably be kind of cool for a picture, but
God.
right? But why do you want to make that much money? Like, what is that going to allow you to do? Is it going to allow you to travel, experience new things, donate to charity, give back, provide for your family? What is like the bigger picture with that? Because there's always a bigger picture with any sort of goal. Like, I want to lose weight. Okay, why? Do you want to, be on a magazine? Do you want to, run a marathon? What's the actual bigger picture? So when you are doing stuff, get you closer to that goal, it doesn't seem like it's an effort, right? It just clicks for you. It's so easy.
It's like part of the process.
Exactly. It's part of the process. So that's short, sweet. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Just always look at the bigger picture. And I think this is a very, very key phrase, but don't live to work, work to live.
You should write that out. Look at it. Put it on your vision board.
I know, right?
Well, so let me like recap this a little bit. So basically what I hear is that you got up this weekend, you went to the office, which nobody was there probably, which is also super helpful when you like have everything to yourself, no one there to bother you or ask you questions. You just get into a groove. And
totally.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you got up Saturday, you had the discipline to even choose to do that, which is so cool. And then you went in, and you were probably super productive because nobody was there. I think that's like a hack, right? To be honest with you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Going in like on a Saturday when nobody else is doing it. And you can just, even if your commitment is like I'm going to go for 2 hours. Well, that's great. And you'll probably be so productive and get so much done because nobody's there. Nobody's there to bother you or ask you questions. But it sounds like you went how long did you commit? Like originally?
Well, it's funny you said that because I think it was like, I'll be here for like 3 hours, but then I was there for like, I think 9-10 hours. I was there for a long time.
Wow.
And then I went to the gym straight afterwards, and then got home, and then immediately went back to work because like legit, I just got into a groove, and like I said, it doesn't feel like work because when you love what you're doing, when it doesn't, like, again, when I don't attain it to work. Right?
Yeah.
I actually enjoy what I'm doing. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll be here for like 3 hours, and then that changed.
Well, and I love that because you're so jazzed up. You've got a lot going on. And even I want to touch upon the vision board. Even though the vision board's not created yet, you still have these end goals that are so big and they're pulling you towards your finish line. So like you go in to work on a Saturday, nobody's there, you're cranking it out, you're getting jazzed up because you're making progress, you're getting things done, and then you leave, you go to the gym, you go home, and then you worked more. So you were really jazzed up, which is great, because a lot of the times, we need motivation, or we need different things like a vision board to pull us. We do need those end goals. But I love to hear that this does not feel like work to you. It's just part of your living. It's part of your life. That's cool. That's a good place to be with what you do.
I want to touch on what you just said, with me being pulled by like my end goals, because in a recent book that I just read, that you actually want to read, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, one takeaway that I got from it was, you can push yourself to a certain extent, right? So if you have a goal, I want to lose X amount of pounds. Okay, you can push yourself to a certain level until it gets like, painful or whatever. But when you change the goal of I want to lose X amount of pounds to I want to do this because this, then you start getting pulled. And since I've recently done that with my goals, like I want to make $1 million. Okay, why? I ask myself that question, why? And then I have these reasons that are deeper than, just money, right? So I actually have emotion. I have like emotional investment in it. So that's what's pulling me. So I can push myself to a goal, but when I have actual emotional investment in it, that's what's pulling me. And so that's what it's allowed me to, that's what allowed work not to feel like work, and me to feel so jazzed up while I'm working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. You do. I mean, we have emotion in every, well, maybe not most people, but like entrepreneurs, surely that's why we have this podcast, right? It's all about that thing that's alive in you that you have to create. You have to move towards this thing, this idea that you have. It's pulling you, and you've got this emotional connection to it. So I'm super stoked. So the takeaway for the listeners is?
The takeaway is to look at your goals, reevaluate them. And when you do that, so for example, I'm just going to give a very plain example. I want to do X in this time frame. And then ask yourself why. What is the deeper meaning for those goals? And then write that out. Literally write this out on a piece of paper. This is what I've been doing, and this has helped me so much. I try to do this every morning and every night. And this has just helped me tremendously. But we'll live that out. I want to do this and in this time, and then write out why. Why do you want to achieve that? What is this going to allow you to do? And then from there, that is going to make what you do every day to, get closer to achieving that feel so much easier. And it's not going to feel like a hassle. It's not going to feel like, oh, I have to do this. It's going to feel like I get to do this, right? I get to work. And you're going to want to go in on a Saturday and work all day, and it's not going to feel like work. You want to do the same thing on Sunday. I literally did the exact same thing the next day.
Did you really?
I didn't work as much that day, not as long, but literally the exact same thing. So that's the takeaway. Look at your goal, write out the deeper meaning of those goals, and then that is going to make it so much easier and feel less like work and more like you get to do something. So
I have a question. I love that. I have a question though. In the book you're reading, Vishen Lakhiani's book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, does he go into his 7 layers of why in that book?
It's a great book for goal setting. I'm actually not reading it currently. It's the last book that I finished reading, but it's a really, really good book for goal setting, because that's, like I said, that's one of the takeaways that I took from it is, what are the deeper meanings for your goals? And another thing too is you can't attach your happiness to the achievement of your goals, to the realization of your goals. You have to attach it to the actions you take on a day-to-day basis that are getting you towards that goal. Because
Yes.
if what you do every day doesn't fire you up enough, doesn't get you happy enough,
Mm-hmm.
then the end result's not going to make you happy, right?
Yeah.
I want to make $1 million, but that's not going to make you happy. Yeah, money's fucking awesome. $1 million is really cool, but getting that's
Why?
not going to, right? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
And if what you do every day doesn't make you happy, then the end result that you're trying to achieve is not going to make you happy. So that's another takeaway. That's one of the other things that I took away from that book. I do really recommend that book for anybody who's maybe not in a great mental space. I definitely was going into it was kind of cloudy, cloudy minded, like right, not in the greatest headspace. But reading that book, it really shifted my mindset with a lot of things, and I do recommend it for people.
That's awesome. You need to
Yeah,
reach out to Vishen and tell him that, to be honest with you. I love when people reach out to me after they've read my book and tell me something, about how I've helped them.
yeah,
And shoot, maybe we'll have him on the podcast. That would be amazing. He'd be
that'd
perfect
be
on this
awesome.
podcast. I was actually confusing Dean Graziosi's 7 layers of why. But what you said about, ask yourself why you want it. Dean Graziosi, he's another speaker and self-help author in the space. And he talks about 7 layers of why, like what's your goal? And then ask yourself why, and then ask yourself why again. And he goes, sometimes it's going to be really hard to get down to layer 7, but like keep doing it and keep asking, because what will happen is some sort of deeper, really important meaning is going to come out about your why, like why you really want something. And usually you might already know that or feel like you know that in layer 1 and 2, but usually it's a lot deeper and it's a lot more personal the deeper you go within that why. So
Yeah,
yeah, great episode today. Thanks for bringing this and wanting to podcast about it. I'm excited to put this one out there.
yeah, absolutely. I hope everybody can take something away from this. Again, I do recommend that book, but listen to this and try and actually implement what you've learned today over the next few days, over the next few weeks, even month, even, and just give it a shot. Uh, you'd be surprised like what you can achieve in a short amount of time. But yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Ciao.